Hey everybody, my name is Jacob Tyson, the host of Real Talk, Real Tips, a YouTube series where we share insights and tips on fishing right here in Oklahoma. Check out one of our recent episodes right now. Success! Today we're in Southwest Oklahoma with my good buddy, Austin Griffin, who is a fisheries research biologist out of our Norman Fish Lab. Today we're going to be teaching you guys all things noodling. So Austin, can you kind of tell us what we're doing out here today? Maybe give us a little bit of info on someone who might want to get started noodling.
Yeah, so we're actually going to noodle today for research. And I'll give a real brief background on that and then kind of go into what you want to look for. And I'll start by saying by no means am I a pro. So
for sure.
But anyways, this is kind of part of a larger channel catfish recruitment project that we're looking into. Basically, a lot of our small impoundments have limited natural recruitment of channel catfish. One way that we've tried to remedy that through the years is through the use of artificial spawning cavities or spawning boxes, different structures. But we've seen kind of limited success with that. And one of the reasons we think is that a lot of these structures we've used in the past have very large openings. So if you think of a barrel just wide open or something like that. So the way these fish spawn and what's going on, and it doesn't really matter if we're talking about channels, blues, or flatheads here, they're all cavity nesters. You have a male that's in there once they spawn that's guarding the eggs and the fry for a week or more till they're fully developed and ready to swim out. And we think one of the issues we're having is that those relatively small channel catfish males in these larger structures are having issues defending the nest, and it's just being predated, sunfish, whatever, eating the eggs and fry, crappie maybe. So anyway, what we wanted to do with this is go out and noodle natural spawning cavities, take a bunch of measurements on the fish, take measurements on the opening to the spawning cavity itself, and see if we can correlate that to the fish size, and then take that information and apply it to our artificial spawning structures.
All right, so we just beached the boat at our first hole. Out here behind me, you can see the guys already heading out, but there's a house foundation in about 4 feet of water that we're gonna go out, use these poking sticks, go ahead and get under and see if we can feel a fish down below the foundation. So we'll catch y'all there. And so we're out here on the foundation. We found a fish in this hole after doing some scouring. We're gonna see if we can pull him out. It's a pretty big hole, so we're gonna try to keep him kind of contained towards the back and see if we can get a good thump on him. So am I just using this like in the side to try
just
to
kind of shoo him towards you, feel where he is, get an idea of what the hole's like.
Oh, I missed him. He's in there though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did he bite you or?
Yeah, he hit me. I wasn't quick enough.
So a lot of our blue and channel catfish, they're a lot more aggressive for whatever reason when they're guarding nests, especially when they've got eggs and fry. You can reach in that hole and you might get hit 6, 7, 8 times on one breath. And it's just a matter of getting your hand in their mouth. Whereas our flatheads, even whenever they're guarding eggs, they're not super aggressive generally. And you might get one good chance to get a hand on that fish before he just sits in the very back and hides from you.
Nice. All right, got our first fish of the day. Nice flathead, coming in probably, what, close to 8, 9 pounds?
Yeah, close to 10.
Close to 10. Nice chunky gal.
That's it.
It's a good fish right there. We're going to stick her in the net so that we can take her back to the boat and go get all the data we need to off of her.
All right, so just for ID purposes, this is a flathead catfish. The most obvious thing being that it has a very flat, wide head compared to a blue or channel. They also have this big underbite. You see here, bottom jaw extends past the top one. And then the real telltale giveaway, different coloration, everything too. A lot of that depends on the turbidity of the water. Channels and blues are generally kind of dark gray to I mean, very dark, almost black at times. But the big telltale giveaway, besides all those, is that it has a flat caudal or tail fin. The other two big catfish species have deeply forked tail fins.
Austin, can you kind of tell us the difference in the two fish? Just some distinctive characteristics to tell them apart.
Yeah, it's a little, so the easiest thing, male versus female right now, is going to be that big old belly on her because she's full of eggs at the moment. As they get further into the spawn, and you can see it a little bit on this male, he's going to have a wider head relative to his body size. He's going to be thinner overall relative to his head size. But this portion of the skull, these muscles will get real developed, even bigger, you know, be real bulged out right here.
Right.
And you can see some scarring and stuff on him up here, a little bit on her as well on the top fin there. But anyway, that's from, you know, moving around, excavating, working underneath rock. So they get pretty rough after a while.
Yeah, awesome. Can you kind of give us some tips as to some things we did out in the water, just as a matter of getting into the hole and pulling the fish out?
Yeah, so a lot of times these fish get in there and push the substrate up to kind of close the opening off, narrow it down, right? So a lot of times that kind of helps you find something, right? Versus just a wide open hole that feels kind of silty.
Right.
If you fill that little lip in some nice, clean, fine sediment, coarse sand or gravel, that's a good clue that there's a fish in there.
For sure.
Before you even get bit or anything like that. And then sometimes we don't want to do it too much, but if the fish is not fitting back out that hole, go ahead and excavate it out a little bit so we're not tearing that thing up even worse. This dude may have got a little bit of that on the way out. But anyway, you can kind of, you know, dig the bottom of that opening out a little bit where that fish will come back out.
Good deal.
And go put them back in.
Well, we're going to get some measurements on these fish for our research and then go ahead and get them back in their hole.
But what we do is we take 5 different measurements, basically just morphometrics for the fish, just because we're kind of trying to cover all our bases when we started this. So we're going to do a total length, which would be tip to tip, standard length, which is going to be from the front of the jaw to the end of the caudal peduncle here. This is the caudal fin. The muscular part here is called the caudal peduncle. We also take a horizontal maximum, so to speak, across here, a vertical maximum this direction on the skull, and then we take a circumference measurement in front of and behind the pectoral spine here. So we'll just go ahead and do all those. Yep, so we do everything metric, right, for publication purposes. So this fish is about 815 millimeters right there. 767, and that's roughly 184.
Is that the out gate?
Yeah, outside gate. And then we're not too worried here, right, as far as all this soft stuff they can squeeze through a little hole, but where they do get constricted, turn it this way, is right in this vicinity. Vertical max here, which is about 121. And I'll do a circumference in front of and behind these pectoral spines. So we took all those measurements on the fish a minute ago. We're also measuring the spawning cavity entrance, or the opening to the spawning cavity, at its narrowest horizontal and vertical point. And then we're going back and correlating the size of that opening to the fish that may be spawning in there, and then we're applying that to artificial, just wooden spawning boxes, with the intent to give that fish the smallest opening, or the easiest opening that it can defend as possible, so that it can defend the eggs and fry. And then hopefully down the road we see increased recruitment because of that.
So we're going to release these fish back into their hole. Here's the male. He said we want these fish to go ahead and spawn, put all those baby catfish back into the lake. So we're going to bring them down and just let them go. So there's the male. We'll grab out the female again. Handling these fish is very important. Always want, when they're out of the water, to support the belly. Then we're gonna let her go back into the hole too. Off she goes.
Alright, so whenever we're out noodling, one of the biggest safety things that you can do is make sure that you're always doing it with a buddy. It's never safe to come out here and do this by yourself, no matter how confident you are in your abilities. These rocks that these fish are under, I mean, they're obviously building big voids and cavities under them. Rocks can shift, shirt sleeves can get caught, fingers can get pinched. Fish can get a hold of you and you might struggle to pull your hand back out. So it's always good to have a buddy standing close to you, especially when you're going down in a hole. And then if you have some kind of signal, whether it's you're clicking your feet together, you start kicking a foot real hard, let your partner know that they need to come down and try to help get you out of that hole, or even help get hold of a fish if you're trying to pull a big one out.
No!
Almost. Hey.
I told you what quickly.
We go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's like, it's a cavity and a cavity.
Yeah.
Way back
No,
there.
Channel or blue? Channel?
Blue. So this is a blue catfish. They're most similar to our channel catfish. Those are the two that most people struggle to tell apart because they can both kind of get this gray color. Blues are a little bit more blue, channels are a little bit more brown. But our big things are this forked tail. That's how we decide that it's either a channel or a blue. Those are our two species with forked tails. And then our defining characteristic, this is actually a fairly good example if I'll show you, is this anal fin closest to his tail. I know it looks slightly curved, but it's very square and box shaped versus a channel catfish almost has like a half moon crescent shape to it. Channel catfish will also often have spots. So if it has spots, it's for sure a channel catfish, but just because it doesn't always mean it's a blue, but it's a fairly good indicator most of the time.
So this is a channel catfish, more than likely a male. As you can see, he's very scarred and scabbed up. He's been in that hole for a while. He was guarding a nest. Very like emaciated looking almost. He probably hadn't eaten in, who knows, maybe a week or so. So a couple different ways to tell this from the blue catfish you just looked at. It always helps me. These have a very, whereas a blue catfish has a fairly steep slope starting at its top jaw, coming back to the base of the dorsal spine here. Channel catfish are relatively flat. It might be hard to pick up, but he's got a curved anal fin here versus where blue catfish, you can almost like run a ruler along that bottom edge if you get that fin stretched out. And then we won't be able to do this on camera, but the real telltale way to do it is if you count what are called fin rays, which are all these little, kind of vertical running structures in the fin there, the soft structures. Blue catfish have 30 or more of those in this fin. Channel catfish have 29 or less. As you can see, this fish has little leeches all over him. He's been in there doing his thing, guarding that nest for a while. But we'll get him back in there.
We ended up catching a couple nice flatheads, a couple blue cats, and one or two channels, but overall a good day, and we hope you'll get out and try it yourselves. So we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching that clip from Real Talk Real Tips. If you'd like to see the full episode, head on over to our YouTube channel at Outdoor Oklahoma. There you can find all of our past conversations with Oklahoma's finest anglers and experts. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you next time.